Good morning everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Casey and I'm an Amazon seller. I've been doing it for about 2 years now and I have created this channel to help people learn about how to sell on Amazon because it has changed my life and I know it can change yours as well. So today I am going to be doing a highly requested video on IP complaints. So this scares a lot of people from getting into Amazon. But I promise you at the end of this video, you will not be scared anymore because I am going to talk y'all through it. So make sure y'all stay to the end of the video. So if you want to sell on Amazon, you are not scared of IP complaints. So I hope everybody has had a great week. Valentine's Day was Tuesday. I hope everybody had some great plans. I went to PF Chang. I had reservations and I ended up having to wait like an hour. So next year, I'm just going to go back to doing a little bit more expensive restaurant and not having to worry about if I got a reservation, am I still going to have to wait? Because more expensive restaurants, they sit you down at your reservation. So I hope y'all all had a great Valentine's Day. That was how mine went. And I also apologize if I'm sounding a little stuffed up. I have a little cold. I think I got it from being at the hospital with my dad last week. I'm not sure, but I've been suffering through it for like the last couple of days. It's been a minor one. Good. It hasn't been a bad cold. So that's why I might sound a little different today. Alright, so let's get to today's topic. Today with IP complaints, I'm going to be talking about what is an IP complaint, how you can avoid getting them, why I don't worry about them, and what will you do if you get one, and some tools you might could use to prevent you from getting one. Also, how you can identify if a brand might give you an IP complaint or not. Alright, before we get into like the nitty gritty of it, first off, I'm not a legal person, so I am telling y'all from my experience with selling on Amazon. I'm not a lawyer, so I just want to let y'all know all that before I get into this today. So an IP complaint is an intellectual property complaint that companies can file against you on Amazon. So it's brands, certain brands file IP complaints more than others do. So that's why you have to kind of figure out who are those brands and make sure you do not sell those brands. Because if you get too many IP complaints, they will shut your account down. Now, the reason why brands file IP complaints is because they can protect themselves from counterfeit items. Not saying that you're selling a counterfeit item, but sometimes, people go and they order from Alibaba across seas and it could be counterfeit and then sell it on Amazon. So that is all they're trying to do is protect themselves from counterfeit items. You can also get a ding on your account for counterfeit, and that's the same thing. It kind of goes hand in hand with IP complaints. So they can either say, this is counterfeit, or I want to file an IP complaint. So let me tell you, why do I not worry about them? Because in the 2 years, almost 2.5 years now, that I have sold on Amazon, I have gotten 3. It was like the first couple months I got 2 back to back, and then later on I got another one. But I haven't had one, and knock on some wood. Where's some wood at? One back here. I'm gonna knock on some wood. I have not got one in probably close to a year. So it's rare for me because of these techniques that I'm going to show y'all that I use when sourcing. And like I said, it's been almost a year now that I have not got one. So if you do these techniques, you shouldn't have to worry about them, just like I don't worry about them. So when brands file IP complaints, you will get an email on your Amazon account. So let me tell y'all though, some people send you emails through, how you get the emails from customers they will send an email through that email saying that, hey, you're in violation of selling my item. Now, you do what you want, but usually that is not the actual brand trying to get you off of it. Usually it's another seller trying to get you off of it. But like I said, you do what you think's right. Me personally, I ignore those emails. But if I get the email through my Amazon account, which I will show y'all here in a minute, those you take serious. Alright guys, so here is the email that you will get, and you will get it under your performance notifications. And this one I got back November 18th, 2021, and it's policy warning, and it just says that we are contacting you because of a copyright, and then it shows you who did the copyright. On this one, it was Endless Games Compliance, and it says, how do I reactivate my listing? Well, you go and you have to go and appeal it. If the owners do not retract their comment, you can also email the owner and see if they will retract their copyright infringement. I have not had a brand do that for me, but like I said, I haven't had many at all. Then you go down here and it shows you the ASIN, and then it shows you what it was, infringement type, copyright. So it breaks all that down for you on that. So when you are scanning, some things you can look for is if it's only the brand on it, more than likely they will file an IP complaint. If there are no other sellers on it, sometimes with no other sellers, there's a reason why there's no other sellers, because they file IP complaints. Some other brands you try to stay away from. High-end brands like North Face, Coach, stuff like that are very expensive high-end brands. They will more than likely file IP complaints. Another thing is beauty products that are like small beauty products. So I'm not talking about like Dove, stuff like that. More than likely, these small beauty products will file IP complaints. By small beauty products, I mean the small brands. So, you know, like Dove's a big brand. They usually don't file IP complaints. Another big one that files IP complaints, which I showed y'all in an earlier video, is Lucetta. That one you want to stay away from. They have gotten me for an IP complaint. I think they have probably gotten every new Amazon seller for an IP complaint, because when you do scan the item, most of the time they make a profit because their brand sells it for more on Amazon than you're going to find it at like Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. So you're like, oh, this is great, but then you list it in your inventory and you get an IP complaint. So, and they file them quick too. So stay away from that brand. Do not do that brand. And right here is what Lucetta looks like. So do not sell this. So when looking and trying to decide if a brand is a brand that files IP complaints or not, of course, like I told y'all, if it is the only seller is the brand on there, then highly likely there's your red flag, or here's your sign. If there are other sellers on there, more than likely it is okay to sell. And if you really just don't know, look it up on Keepa. See what their history is on Keepa. If there's a history of other sellers, then more than likely you're okay. If there's not a history of other sellers, or it's just the brand, then here's your sign, there's your red flag, don't sell it. And another thing I'll do if I just don't know is I'll search that brand. And I'll see, is there other sellers on the brand, or every time you look it up, it's just the brand. Like I had this happen last night, actually, and I'm going to show y'all real quick on Amazon. So last night I was looking at these Hero Mighty patches because Amazon was on all the listings for it, but they were actually sold out of one of the listings. So I went and I looked, and then the next seller was these Hero Cosmetics, which is obviously the brand. On this brand right here, it's usually either the Hero Cosmetics or Amazon. So there is a huge red flag that they will probably file IP complaints. So now I'm going to go through a list of some brands that you want to stay away from. Vital Proteins likes to file IP complaints. I actually think that this was another one of my IP complaints that I have gotten. You can find them at Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Target, anywhere like that. Supergoop, that is sunscreen. You can find at TJ Maxx, Ross, any place like that. Also stay away from. Cook with Color, these were actually the bowls I was selling when I first started, and I never got an IP complaint, but I have heard recently that people are getting IP complaints with Cook with Color. Discovery is another big one that you do not want to sell. You can find these Kohl's, Ross, Marshalls, any place like that. They will file IP complaints. Do not sell these. Lily's will also file IP complaints, and you can find these again at Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Walmart, Target, any place like that, but do not sell them. So a tool that you can use is IP Alert, and it will let you know on the Amazon screen on the listing that you're looking at. It'll pop up and say IP Alert. And the way it knows this is sellers just like me, you, who are selling on Amazon, report that, hey, I have gotten an IP complaint by this brand. So that is how they know if the brands file IP complaints or not. And you use it through a Chrome extension, but again, it is not always 100% correct. So you just have to decide what's right for your business. Like I say on everything, you know, you choose what you want to do with your business. So when you do get an IP complaint, you want to make sure that you are handling them as soon as they come in. Because if not, and you get more and they just accumulate, then you can get your account shut down. And if you get your account shut down, it is very hard to get it back. I have heard of people actually having to pay a lawyer to get their account back. I'm not 100% familiar with it, but I've heard of that in the past. But like I said at the beginning, IP complaints don't really scare me, because in the 2.5 years that I've been selling, like 3. But I use those tools that I talked about with, you know, you got to look at how many sellers are on the listing. You have to look at Keepa and see what the history is on this product. Is the brand on the product? Which I actually had somebody ask me in the comments one time. They said, what if the brand has the buy box? Well, more than likely, if the brand has the buy box, that's kind of scary. That might be an IP complaint, because they're selling it on Amazon. They don't want other people to sell it on Amazon. So they're going to file an IP complaint on you. Also, you can email the brand. Like I showed y'all in the email that I received, they had the brand's email on there. And you can say, hey, I'm not selling a counterfeit item. Here's my receipts. I will not sell this item anymore. I will take it out of my inventory. Will you retract your complaint? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like I said, it's just a gamble, like the same thing with Amazon. So with Amazon, even if you do resolve it with them, they will send you an email and just say that, hey, it will fall off your account health in 180 days. That's, you know, a long period of time. So that's why you just want to make sure that you are emailing Amazon, trying to resolve it. You're going back and forth, because if anybody's ever had to deal with a plan of action or anything like that, you know that you probably have to send in like 100. And you can try the brand and just make sure that you're handling it if you do get one. And then make sure you are taking these steps that I showed you to make sure you're not even getting them in the first place. Okay, so that is it for today, and that's all the information I got with IP complaints. And like I just said, I don't worry about them. They're not as scary. So I hope after you watch this video, that you feel the same way too, that they're just not that scary and they're not going to keep you from selling on Amazon. So tomorrow I will be doing a retail arbitrage video. I don't know what store I'm going to go to yet. I'm going to let that be a surprise. So be on the lookout for that video. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications of when I have new videos coming up. And as always, if you enjoyed this video today, make sure you hit that like button below. And if you want to learn about how to sell on Amazon, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, because I'll upload videos weekly about how to sell on Amazon. If you have any questions, any comments, put them in the comments below and I will get back to them as soon as possible. I have recently gotten some people asking me about training, stuff like that. So I am going to start looking into maybe opening up some training options, and I'm still working on the ungated guide that I will release. So I got all that good stuff coming up, and I will let y'all know on videos whenever they are available. So until next time, guys, bye.